I'm still muted. There. My voice is still, unfortunately, a little bit off. But hopefully it's getting better. Today is more programming that is not the programming game. Or, I mean, app. Hello, Rhina. Bing, bing. We got Godot today. It should be a good one. I've got some thoughts. Can't really guarantee how it'll go, but hopefully we'll make some good progress. So let's see where we were before. The moment I can walk around and stuff, I can go here, go like this, drag stuff around, leave, come back, and they're still there. That's pretty epic. The only difficulty right now is that if I combine them and go back, they separate, you know? So that's where we are. We want it to, recombine. Alright. I wonder where this is printing from. Oh, wait, that's the inventory, huh? Don't know where that's printing from. I'll figure it out eventually. So for each rune, we instantiate it. And add it to the scene. Alright. It makes sense to me. I'm gonna be honest, I don't know how this language works anymore. I've been working in C a lot recently. So I'm just guessing that this is the syntax, because that just makes sense. Okay. So it looks like I combine these two, put them back. Whoops, wrong. Click. Then here we see E.E. Okay. All right. It's a little tricky, but to me it makes sense that I should find each rune in the created runes, right? Here. We should Does this work? Okay, it does. So then we're gonna add each new thing. Hang on, I can't spell. Wait, let's just say variable. So I notice a variable. There we go. I think that was the issue. Then we have to append. That's the one, yeah. New room. Okie dokie. Then we'll actually make it an array. So this way we'll have two properties, new rune and new rune, rune ID. That's a good thing, because now we can say to just search for the first result in the instantiated runes. Because if we look at these, and we're also going to want to put this back just for now. I also want to figure out where that's being printed, you know? It's an inventory thing that's being printed. Right? Because that's... So I have to wonder... I'm just gonna have to search for it here. Is it like here or something? We got these two in here. Nothing. Nope. Nothing. Wait, here we got one. What's the... Is it... There we go. Excuse me. Oof. Okie dokie. Back in here. No, here. No, here. Yes. So now that'll stop being printed. That's good. Combine those, put them down. Then... Huh? There we go. So we'll see here that... Look. See, the positions of the total combo is gonna match the position of the, I assume, parent one. Yeah, that one there. So that's a good, useful thing. Alright? So we'll always be able to find the first one like that. Let me see. And I think we're going to say for... I think it's going to have to be nested like this. So that we can search through all the ones and say... if rune at position 1, so the ID, well, hang on. Zero. Oh wait, that is an O, not a 0. I don't know how this language works anymore, darn. This probably has string formatting options, right? Let's see. Excuse me. I guess this doesn't do that. I guess we'll just have to look it up. So we're going to look over here. We'll say just string formatting for the godot strip. No, not format strings. I was looking for string formatting. I guess I should look specifically. Dot split. I guess I would look. I suppose it is just dot split. Okay. Let's test that. And we can close this for now. So oops. All right. So we will want to do this first. Yeah, so that's printed each part of it. So that's a good thing. So we can get... Let me see. So let's start with this. My idea right now is that I should be able to just comb through each combo, find each of the needed characters, and then basically just assign things from here into there. So I'm hoping that it works that way. It might be a little overcomplicated. I don't know the better way to do it though. Yeah, E.E. Okay. Then here, I think I'm gonna want to so I'm thinking I'm needing another array because I'm gonna go for each character in the combo. I'm gonna say if that is the same as one of the runes here, then I want you to basically say, hey, we found it, boss. But then on the next character, I don't want to go and find the same one again, you know? So let's see. For if rune 1, because these are in arrays, is the same thing as our print rune 1. Okie dokie. Yes. But each one is printing twice, which is why we want to and is a keyword? Okay. And not in checked runes. This should work, right? I don't know if it works that way. So now it should print each E once. Maybe it'll be better if I go like 2 different ones. E and B. Perfect. So it's getting each once. Alright. But I know this isn't gonna work. At least not in the way I had been thinking at first. Maybe not this either. So here's the thing. When all we have is... I do think actually we want to search through each piece of the string. Right? And then I guess we do want to check runes list. Then we will say no, I guess this is the way it needs to be done. Right? I've forgotten how to format strings in Godot. Can I just go like this? One. Let's see. Okay. I guess we need a list of grammar characters. And I'm looking at these, technically speaking, we might be able to get away with making the grammar characters a separate list here. These, I guess, too. Yeah, hang on. So allow me to I'm pretty sure it's spelled with an A. I might be forgetting a little. Okay, it is AR. Good to know. Alright. So, first of all, we're gonna want to bring all of these up here. Alright, so this way we'll be able to check if something is grammar, essentially. I'm gonna want to check if, for 3 cases, which is to say, if it on its own is grammar, if it plus the next one is a piece of grammar, or if plus the next 2 is a piece of grammar, because all 3 are possible, you know? We are also going to want to add the dot. And then, let's see. Let's just go to a complicated one that probably has a bunch. Hang on, does it? Oh, it does end. This closing parenthesis should be on the outside there. Then up here we can put in the regular nestings. Alright, and then we've got parentheses that are also used for grouping. Then after the groupings, we've also got the comma, which is used pretty much exclusively for non-overlap linking. Is there anything else I'm forgetting? There is the, this. So we'll add in caret for raised. And then I suppose technically the numbers are grammar rather than symbols directly, because they denote what to do with the dough stick in most cases. Yeah. So I think we'll want to add in the numbers. Kind of silly that they decide to indent themselves in such a way. Technically, there isn't a ninth dough meaning, but other technically is, it's possible, quote unquote, but never used to do up to 16. We're just gonna leave it at 8 though. If we ever come across a time where we need up to 16, I'll program it in. Alright. Then back in the scroll editor. No, here. Or alright, this is actually a switch case situation. Awesome, I just did one of these in my operating system. Case? Hang on, I have no idea how to do this in Godot. It's the perfect usage for this. It's called match, it looks like. Match char. Okay, expected indented block. I had best just look at the documentation. Test value, pattern, block. Okay. So we're testing with the character. Alright. So we're going to want to keep this simple for now while we're figuring this out. I'm so glad that I remembered about switch case statements, because this is going to be so much better with them. So then we have the pattern we're looking for. The pattern what counts as a valid pattern? 1, 2. Okay, gotcha. Here, pattern guards is what we're looking for, I think. Okay. Awesome. So, say it's just char when in runedict, not runedict, print char. Okay, if this works the way I think it does, this is huge. Okay, so that didn't... Wait, hang on. We've got to retry that. And you know how... What made me remember this? Is because just the other day, I was writing my own, string formatting in C, E, B. Perfect. And that's the only print. Perfect. Yes. Exactly what we were after. So what I've done here is I've basically said the character equals the character, right? When the character is in the room. Alright, so we're going to need a couple state machine. It's a state machine is what I'm making, by the way. We should make a chart for this, because not only do I enjoy making charts, yes, I think it's a good idea to make a chart. Because it's a state machine, and so making a state machine graph will help me figure out how I want this to go. So we're going to new image. I suppose we'll do it screen size, so like so. Excuse me. So we're gonna want probably this one, and we'll grab ovals. And is there a text tool? Yes. This is a text tool. Oh, I see. You've got to, okay. New symbol. There we go. And then that new symbol can either be... Oops. I'm gonna put these here. I don't know how big this will get. Right. I'll have it go this way. If it is a grammar. Whoops. Alright. And it'll go this way. If it is a RID. Short for rune ID. Oh, whoops. Those are on the same layer, huh? I should be able to select that part anyway. No, I cannot. Alright. Cool. Just merge those two. Make that an RID. Alright. Then, down here, I actually do think I'm gonna want to shrink that a little bit. Then we'll merge these down again. And that'll be a different arrow that way. Then up here we add another circle that says we will say up here hold the RID. Alright, hold on to it so that it can have an operation applied to it. And then I'll make sure this is new or next. Then once you're holding one, you'll go right back to getting a new symbol. Alright. Well, actually that's technically a new state once you're holding the symbol. Here, I'm gonna look at the grammar for a second. Once you have, if you see a piece of grammar, it'll be just like a couple different types. So if it's a rune ID, you hold on to it, and then you do grab it, and then you move to the next symbol. No, we can't. Okay, let me go back a couple steps. I'm a little inexperienced when it comes to these, I think. So, I suppose technically, basically over here somewhere, we're gonna want to apply operation. Right? Because at some point they're going to need to. We're going to... The point is to find the operation to apply, and then apply the operation. Right? And then once you've applied that operation, you go to the next symbol. Yes, that's fine. So the other, that's another not quite. Hang on. So the new symbol, if it is a... Let's just get into specifics so that we don't have to worry about accounting for everything in a vague sense. If it is a letter, because all letters will be treated the same. It's easier to write in cursive with the mouse, or just in general on a keyboard. Or not keyboard, tablet, mouse, same thing. Not same, but you know what I mean. So we'll get the new symbol. If it's a letter, then we will, no, the more I think about it, the more I'm just pretty sure if we get a letter, the state doesn't change. Right? It stays in the looking for thing state, but we will actually no, because the state of the machine won't change, but we'll hold on to the letter. I'll add this as like a note, since it's not technically a new state for the machine, but it will be a new state for, like, that variable. Hold a letter, and then it'll, yes. It'll only ever deal with one letter at a time. Then if it is grammar, then the state will change. Alright, we're going to want to close this. We're gonna want to take a look at the different things I've taken on. So if it is a begin sentence, or I guess technically if I'm doing it like that, then if it's a begin sentence, we actually just ignore it. Because everything, well, not necessarily. I guess. Oops. So there's begin. Begin sentence. Because not all things are gonna have sentences, but I suppose this too. would basically do the same thing as a letter, in that they'll just hold it. Here, I'm actually gonna, for simplification, I'm gonna add a little note for myself, just so I can not have to write as much. If I do a big dot with a line in it, like a 0 equals. In variable. There we go. Then if something is an end sentence, I guess that's the same. Yes. Okay. Well, yeah. Alright. Let's do the apostrophe next. Since that actually does make a different state. Then there's either the quote or the irregular nesting. And those are like the only things that use the apostrophe, aren't they? It says 58 matches, but I'm certain that that's not the case. Just because I use some for strings sometimes. Doesn't matter. So we'll be waiting here to see if it is quote or nesting. Or I guess we'll simplify too. Right? This or that. And I'm just doing the opening ones because that's leaving this state will be its own thing. So that's where the apostrophe will go. And once you're in this, it's basically the same as a new symbol. Right? I mean, you do the whole new symbol thing. I guess technically. Not exactly, because... Yeah, so once you have an apostrophe, you wait to see if it is a parenthesis or bracket. And if it is a parenthesis, you know you are I'm gonna put a little filled in dot here. to show that it's awaiting. Gonna do this. Right? Pretty much. Well, I mean, here. We'll treat them the same, so it doesn't matter if I specify one or the other. But from here, I go into a different state, technically, where I then say, new symbol, essentially, right? And I do the same thing as down here. You can have more, so that would go back in there and into there more. Or you can have letter pointing back into this one, because this is a different state than this, because we're in this, you know. So you actually can't end sentence, which is convenient. And then, yeah, you can have either those, and then I guess leaving this would require this or that. Right? And from here, you can either go back this way, or you could have an apostrophe. And the apostrophe would take you back out of it. Well, actually, the apostrophe could go back here, because you could have it be nested. I'm actually gonna go underneath. And then I'm gonna split this off. Here, I'm going to make the color different so that it's easier to tell. You can either go like this, or tell that they're the same thing. They're the same color. Yeah? Yeah. I'll underline the apostrophe a little so you can still tell. I'm gonna save this, state machine. Then, if you've left to a new symbol, that's fine. Alright? Yes. You could also... I guess technically speaking, apostrophe has to be its own state. Because... Whoops. Yeah. Alright. Then, so that's the apostrophes dealt with. The apostrophes and the, these. Technically, there'd be a different state for this. Right? There'd be a different, parentheses state. Because there's two different ways. With and without the apostrophe are different. So... And then these have their own new symbol loop. Alright, I'm just doing this to make it easier. And then it's not really a loop because it exits. Either... Well, no, it is a loop because it can also go back to this. Or it can do this. A letter. Or it could exit like that. Okay. So that should be the brackets, apostrophes, and I might be misunderstanding how to make a state machine, by the way. My computer science class on it was ages ago. But let's see. Next thing to deal with would probably be... Suppose we can deal with the arrays next. I'm gonna make this one blue. Just because it's getting a little crowded in there. The raised will be... Oh. 10:30 alarm already? Wow. Alright, but... We're gonna go around, like... this to another state. Maybe that's best for a more complicated one. We'll just do it small for now. We'll do it like this. Because this one can do the same thing, basically. You know, it can do the same sort of loop. Here, let's get the circle tool because it's nicer. Then I can... So this one also is either a new symbol, which can go back to itself, right? Or it can have another letter. Then this one actually... No, it will only ever have one letter, right? Unless... Alright, so take a gander over here. It would be in one of these groupings if there's going to be more than one, right? Which means that this can go here. And here, let me undo this, because it won't just be on loop for it to be a new symbol. It can either be a new symbol and then a dot, basically. Here, we're going to get to that in a second while we're dealing with the dot. But it could be this, and could be this, right? I spelled that wrong. I put a G at the end. I don't know why. But yeah, when it's raised, it could be... Wait, hang on. It would be to the apostrophe, actually. Yes. And then both of those just escape back to the new symbol, which is good. That's what we want. Then, what else we got? We do have the dot to deal with. This one I will make, I suppose, purple. So the dot, it's a little bit complicated. Well, not especially complicated, because you're never going to have two dots on each other. It's pretty much always just going to be dot into new symbol, right? Well, technically speaking, Dot goes to apply operation. Right? And then actually, does make me remember. So a dot would apply operation of overlap. Right? No. Because it needs another symbol first. So I was right at first, I think, to go and... Well, hang on. No, we'd need... Basically, we'd get ourselves another new symbol loop. So we'd go like this. And give it the same connections. Alright. New letter, or it could be... Actually, if it's just a letter, like a letter and nothing else, then you'd apply operation overlap. Well, not quite. Hang on. I guess technically. No, yeah. Well, once you've reached the dot, you are kind of in the post-dot loop. So you could go like this, but you couldn't go like that. You know? So it could be a letter. Or it could be... It couldn't be the end sentence immediately after it. Dot. So that's nice. It could be... Gosh. Could be either of these. Which would then... I'm gonna leave in purple when I do these next parts. Well, actually, here, the letter isn't just a loop, because if it's... Here. So a new symbol, if that symbol is another dot that doesn't happen actually. New symbol. That symbol could be a letter. Oops. And then it could be a dot, but it couldn't just immediately be a dot. It could also be a letter and then apply the operation of overlap. Alright? Because if it's just one letter and then not another dot, then you do the overlap. It could also be a letter and then the raise. So I'm gonna have to go like this. Okay, I know it's gonna be a pain, but I think I do need to restart. Oh boy. I think I've overcomplicated this in the wrong way. I'm gonna take my 3-minute break real quick and then be right back. I'm back. Wow. So, what I did wrong before was I wasn't treating the things that were states all as states. And I wasn't making the same states just be the same, you know? So we're going to start where we started before, which is to say, we started a new symbol. All right. Then that symbol, it could be a letter. All right. Or it could be grammar. Then, in the case of a letter, oh wait, we'll get the circle first. In the case of a letter, I'm gonna do this in red to show that it's a certain thing. Because after each letter has to be grammar. You know? This isn't technically how state machines are supposed to work. But, well, I guess we will. So, a letter will then send you back to, well, it'll actually say save letter. And then that saved letter, after you save the letter, then you go back to the start. Alright, then if it's grammar, let's just get all the cases, right? Some of these are specifically here. If you have grammar, you need to know which grammar. Alright, so it could be I guess that'd actually be the next state is I did an ER, it's AR. And then after this, you go be that one. It could be the apostrophe. Could be open parenthesis or bracket, or it could be a close parenthesis, close bracket. You know, I'd probably like those two to be a bit farther apart. Could be any of those, could be an apostrophe. Then we've also got ourselves numbers will all be the same, so I'll just do a pound sign. What else is there? Okay, I feel as though it's never going to be 2 letters in a row. So instead, we're going to have a state called advance, right? It's going to be basically the same thing as new symbol, except with specialty cases here. Alright. Events and then grammar. Because it's not getting the next symbol normally now, it's directly going to another grammar. And then each of these grammars here, we're gonna probably want to make like broad groups of these, you know? Because some of the grammars can go into other grammars, but others can't. I guess we'll have 2 states. One will be open-ended, and we'll make this right size. I didn't grow anything else accidentally, did it? No, good. And we'll go, whoops. Close-ended. So closed-ended ones. Those would be well, hang on. It's tricky. Right? I think I'm gonna want to... Oops. Get rid of that one. So if we have a piece of grammar, then, we'll start with the apostrophe, alright? Because that one's a little tricky. I wonder, I'm forgetting for some reason if that's an A or an O. It's an O. Alright. I did do it correctly, but I did the R weird. Whoops. I'm actually gonna want to close animation timeline. I don't know why that's up. Apostrophe. Alright. Then immediately after the apostrophe can, to my knowledge, only be either the bracket or the parenthesis, right? It's either before it or after it. So we will say the apostrophe is going to be in a advancing into a special state of either bracket or parenthesis. Because if it starts apostrophe, starts the apostrophe, then it'll be either one of these things. And then it'll be basically its own either of these will be their own thing. Right? I guess, because basically at that point they can do all the other things, essentially. So I guess this goes back to new symbol. Or both of these do. But only if... No, well, yeah. Here, I'm gonna put this in red now. Not to make it confusing, but to actually make it less confusing. To show that we're still in the apostrophe state. Right? And then, if it advances to the apostrophe when it's in the apostrophe state, it could either be those things, or no, wait. Yeah. If it is in the apostrophe state, when it's in the apostrophe, then it exits the apostrophe state. So I'm gonna do that by going like this with the black line intermediate. Alright. And then if the grammar is either of the closing ones of those same two, then that's basically what would trigger the apostrophe exit state, you know? So that's why I'm going to give these the same fun treatment. There. So that's how that is. Closing those two can also just return to start. So we're going to draw that in as well. Trying to find the best way around. As if we're crossing over anyway. So those two can go back to start as well. Then if the grammar is a dot, for example, this one's tricky. Alright, so if it's a dot, it can be anything after that. So I guess it's not actually that tricky. I will put in a new state anyway, though. That will just say, no, I'm not gonna. Because this is about, like, I can put operations at any of these steps. But the important part is making sure we have those steps. So the dot will be going back to there. Then, what else we've got? Let's actually make that arrow a little nicer. Like so. Grammar could also be either of these opening ones. So we should denote that. With some of these. Alright. And then these essentially just go back to having a new symbol. Because we're kind of making the assumption that everything's already going to be a valid string, and we're not going to have any weirdness like closing before opening. Just because if I do my programming properly, that should never happen. Then, if it's not one of those, then the raised is next. Alright. This one's kind of silly because you do the caret and then another thing pointing to it. The caret can either have one of these two after it. Or it could have a letter after it, pretty much. It's not really something you could have just arbitrary grammar after. Right? You're not gonna have arrow into apostrophe, for example. That will never happen. I mean, technically speaking, you'll never have these into this either, but... Well, no, it's easier. In fact, no, we will do it that way. Or it could be number. Right? I feel as though I do need to make it blue on those ones to make it clear that it is in fact a different, like, it's special when they are inside the thing, you know? We'll set a variable to true. As likely as not, this is going to be recursive. Because that's the only way I can really guarantee that it does exactly what I want. It shouldn't end up being a huge issue. Whether or not it's recursive. Okay, then I'm gonna fill that a little. So if it's one of these without the apostrophe, that'd be ending the blue. But then these are starting the blue. Okay. Just go around like that. There we go. And then a number, I mean, there's really no instances where the number goes into anything, right? Could be a comma. Could be a comma. Yeah, like here. Comma or dot. But number immediately to letter is what I'm wondering. No, there'd pretty much never be a number into another number or a letter. Technically speaking, we'd be able to have, like, 2 double digits. But I'm hoping that doesn't happen because that would be annoying. So we're pretty much always going to have number into grammar. I'm going to put this as a green. No, I'm not. I guess number technically into the advanced state there. Right? Because it's pretty much never going immediately into a new symbol. It's pretty much always going to be going into grammar. Excuse me. And technically everything advances after every step, but new symbol also advances. Those two are basically the same thing, but this one basically is like, it better not be another letter, you know? Then, what else could it be? What other grammar do we have? We've done the numbers, the raise, the non-overlap link. Right. I mean, that's basically the same thing as the dot, you know? Where it just goes right back into a new symbol. Alright, so that might be everything. This might be our state machine. Alright. What I'm noticing is out from the new symbol, it's only 2 options, either a letter or grammar. And then, yeah. that should be correct. Let me double check. Oh, the split. I guess pretty much just split. It's a grammar, so it would be from here. But it's very simple. It's just this into this. Right? I guess technically that means it would be 1. Oops. It can either go into itself or out of here. Okay. Good. Good. Technically, there's also the open, closing sentence thing, but that's, you know, we can deal with that separately pretty much. It's pretty much irrelevant. Alright. So, here. No. Here. So, if the character is in the rune dictionary, which is this down here, that basically means that it's a letter, you know? One of the letters that we've defined, probably one of the 26 blocks. Right. Like in these, basically. But somehow if they make 3 things 1 thing, then I guess that would work too. But then we can go back here and we can print that. Then we can say in runedict dot grammardict. All right. Whoops. Sometimes I get that wrong. Let's do something simple like that. Okay. So, see how it's gotten each of the things for us? That's good. That is what we want. Then, if it's a letter, we want it to advance. You sound a lot better, not 100%. Yeah, I agree. And that's even really just in the last couple hours. Earlier today, it was also pretty bad. Let's see. So, I suppose, if it's a letter, then I guess it'd be for a rune in instantiated runes if rune of 1, because this would be 0, 1, and rune is not in correct runes, then append rune I guess we'll say maybe this goes outside. Alright. We will return to having this print the character. And then out here, before that, we go here. Alright. So have these check this. Append rune. Alright. I think I used too many keywords there. Something along those lines. But basically, that's a little too indented, I think, actually. And then we're gonna say we're gonna say the operational rune starts here. Like so. Then, basically, I guess it will have to say it's a list. No, here. What I need is basically for it to construct a list of instructions to apply to the runes we have, right? So I did make a state machine chart. I don't know if this is how it should be done, but it feels about right. And I guess that's all that really matters. We've got letter and we've got grammar. So letter, save the letter. Hold on to it. I can close this. And then move on to the next one. Alright. Let me see. I guess just print it for now. And if it is a piece of grammar, I think. I guess I will need a couple of these. I'm seeing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Probably 9. Two, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Wait, hang on. This one does need to be like that, so I can do this. And then maybe this should be a separate function. Hang on. I guess we say instead combo input of 0. This way I can call this to do that, you know? Oh, but wait. I guess we'll just separate them. Input location, because combo is an array. It could just be with 2 things in it, pretty much. Got those, the dot, bing, could be the caret, that. Then could be a comma. Or it could be the bar. Alright. Is that everything? Let's see. We aren't doing this part yet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Wait, hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Hang on, what? 1, 2, 6, 7, 8, 9. How do I have 9 here but only 8 there? What am I miscounting? Did I not? I don't think I have an apostrophe here. Right, that's because it's part of the this. Gotcha. I'll just have to. Irregularity notation, comma. Alright, that should be good there. And then, if it's an apostrophe, 2. There. Go. Oh, I guess you can't do that. Weird. And then I suppose I'm gonna have to length of input. Guess that's what I've got to do. And then what if I actually hang on, they said in here that there's a way I can var new var. So if I say it's a variable, then the thing there will be here, right? So that should work if I do it like that. So if I say variable, then honestly, since this is already defined as character, the rest of these should also follow as this. So that should be fine. I could be just completely wrong, you never know. And then we'd have to call parser. Am I able to just say equals? No. Let me double check if that's how you do it. Here. Let's see if this is helpful. Equals hello. Yes. Okay. So location is null if you don't have one. That works for me. And then you'll have parser of input, and then I'm not sure how it's done in Godot, but we're gonna have to check. Here, we'll see about string indexing. No? We'll see how that goes. N or trace starting from position. Here. Oh, looks like there's something called substring. Yeah, from integer. Part of the string from position from with length. Turns the rest of the string. That's actually very convenient. Input dot substring. Is that how it's spelled? Substring, yes. Okay, from, get this I, and then we don't need to specify the length, because that's by default, but I guess we will anyway just to be safe. So that'll just do the rest of it. Alright? Then we will have to say if side irregularity alright. We're at the 2-hour mark. I'm gonna refill my water because I'm pretty thirsty right now. So I will be right back and see you then. You know, that's the second time so far that the music has stopped. I have to refresh the page, it seems. Happy to have my water, because I'm thirsty. Been talking a lot. Certainly. So, this should work for that. Else. Because if you're not in it and you see that, well, hang on. No, because anything inside it would be taken care of in there. Right? Actually, I don't need to... Oh, now this is tricky. This is tricky. I think we don't need to have this inside a for loop. Alright? Now, here's the thing. Alright, I'm going to start over, essentially. Because we can't use input of I anymore. Let's just, match input at position 0. Because then when we... Hang on. Then... we're gonna use input of 0 instead. Cause then, so substring 0 through minus. Maybe it would be from 1 then, right? Because then you just do everything. I don't know if this actually includes the rest of it, or from, like, from the position from the length. Start. I'm assuming it includes the starting point in that. We'll just have to see. Sorry about that. Blech. So that should work to start from 1. Excuse me, part 2. Let me blow my nose real quick. So, now, with each part, oh, but you know what? Here. Let's specify things a little more. Like this. Then, these will be so one we'll start this from 2. Alright. And I'm gonna get rid of this. Outlet and 1 is open parenthesis. And then we'll need another variable. False. Alright, and we'll copy this. Inside the quote will be true. And we'll parse the rest of that like so. Yes, I think that's correct. Then if inside a regular nest or inside quote, no, for this one it'd be if inside quote, because it's like that. If inside quote pass, alright, because then if it's inside quote, then it'll just be dealt with up here. But otherwise, what's it normally called? It's normally called just group. Yeah, begin grouping. Alright. Like so. We can indent these to be fancy. Like so. But yeah, just like move on if that's already been dealt with. Because the idea is that it should only need to deal with one of these characters at a time. Then if inside quote I guess return for now. Then excuse me. Gonna definitely take some medicine tonight. And very much hope that I'm more better tomorrow. Then we'll say if inside regular nest s, then here if inside regular nesting turn, and if dot then overlap, and hang on, actually, we can just make that a function, I think. Overlap, and then this would actually start from 1. Alright. Now I guess have to be from parser. Because oh, here, actually, we can say because basically this would get what it needs to overlap with. But I guess we don't really know how to do that just yet. The apostrophe, no, the caret here. This is either going to be the caret could be a grouper. Yeah, there. Alright. If it's just a number, then it goes to a new symbol. So match input of 1, right? All right, pattern binding. For when equals 1, and then I'll just have it pass. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Cool. There we go. I suppose yes. So I think how I'm gonna want to do this is to have the parser return the substring of whatever is left, essentially, every time. So hang on, so an instruction and the string to perform that instruction on. And hey there, I'm having a bit of trouble, you see, Squid Coder, because this is the state machine sort of graph I've tried to make. It's not perfect by any means, but it's at least what I've tried to do, because I'm not the best at state machines. But I'm trying to make it I'm trying to figure out how to make it work. So the rest of this, the instruction is overlap. And yes. Odd. I guess it will have to be an array. Alright. Then if we have the caret and it's one of the numbers, then it will just be to go to the next thing. Alright. I guess I don't really need this. Input of 1. 1. I wish I could put those on multiple lines. I guess the match might be easiest, but it's... Oh wait, here. In. Turn. Parser with regular substring. Simple raise. Alright, and then here. I'm gonna have to, well, otherwise if of 1 in actually I don't think it'll ever actually be yeah, because it'll pretty much always be a group if it's not. So I'm gonna adjust this. The raised cannot in fact go over here. I'll fix that. Alright, so it's either a number. Oh wait, hang on, I did the wrong one. No. It's either a number or a group, not a nest, because that wouldn't make sense. Alright. I can go here and say if it's this. Alright. Then we'll say the same return string. Well, actually, no, yeah. To there, and then complex raise. Elif. I guess just else, because it'll be the only other case of 1 in basically if it's a rune. There we go. Then, it should probably be 2 every time. Yes, yes. Oh, I see. Then, probably, yeah. So it'll have a simple raise instruction or a multi-raise instruction. We'll actually set this one with that, because then it'll go through and become inside of a group, which is good. This is probably terrible for performance, by the way. And for that, I apologize, because I don't know how else to do this. Because, yeah, oh boy. I don't know how to do regular expressions in Godot. It would probably make this easier if I did. Because then I could say, it would be easier. Just trust me. I am going to want the other part of this, because we're not only going to want to tell it to do the simple raise, we're going to want, or simple or single, we're going to want it to have it have the thing. Regex is pure black magic that I leave the big guys. Yeah, my dad had the same thought, basically, where he said, if you are thinking that a regular expression is the solution to your problem, then you have 2 problems. And I very much agree, and I'd like to avoid it, because it just sounds like a whole mess. But when I'm working with parsing strings that could have a variable amount of things inside them, it feels like it'd be a good idea to just be able to say character plus anything plus end character, instead of saying to do the whole function over again, right, you know? But yeah, it's just tricky. But and here, so you're making a tokenizer? I guess, yeah. I guess that makes sense as a way to put it. I don't know how I'd say it, because I don't know much. I'm not the smartest. I haven't taken that many classes. But that sounds about right. Because basically, if I look over here for you, all my runes that are going to be combined to make other runes, their key, essentially, is stored as basically letters, which represent the actual characters, and these grammar symbols, like you'll see up here, which represent basically operations. So the dot will be an overlap, so the S symbol will overlap the K symbol. The brackets show that they're inside of each other, like containing. So the D symbol contains the E symbol, which contains the A symbol. The caret represents being raised. So if it's raised to a letter, then basically it'll be all this, and then above it, smaller, would have an O symbol. It could also have raised to a number, which means that there's going to be a little box with a number of tick marks corresponding to that number. And if it has raised to a letter and then a dot, that just means that it's this one dot this one. And yeah. So it's kind of tricky to figure it all out. But, like for example here, how would I know? How would I have my system know that this ending one is the right ending one? Because if we look back here again, there's multiple ending brackets, so I can't just have it do that, because then I'd be telling it to end on the wrong one. So maybe I need to restart my entire process here. I think, gosh, I think I need to reconsider how all this is gonna go. So you have a string of characters, and each character means something in the order they are found. Yes, exactly. The order they're there means something, and yeah. I get the feeling that you're hinting at something, but I just don't know what it would be, you know? That's what Quickfoot does? Cool. Interesting. In year. Very cool. My question would just be like, where's the code for it? Actually, I can probably find that. And I want to look at the parser code. Yeah, I'm gonna do that too, actually. Let's see. Wrong code? Darn. I mean, it looks like the right thing. Vaguely. You know? I didn't look too deep at it. This one's from DF Hack, it looks like. That could be the right thing. That's the old quick fork. I see. Well, you might have to give me a link to it. I don't know if it matters too much if I use the old one or the new one, if they work the same. Because we're just looking for the parser. So I can figure out what they do. So I can figure out the best way. That you were gonna DM me? Awesome. I'm a little impatient if you can't tell. I'll be waiting for that DM then. But yeah, I tried making a state machine. It took like an hour. For some reason. Less than an hour, obviously, but felt like an hour. I don't even know if this is correct. Thank you, I got the DM. Okie dokie. So... parse, perhaps? I mean, this would be very simple, wouldn't it? I'd assume that this parse.lua would be where I'd find the parse. But I can't be certain. Turns the next token. I don't know Lua, by the way, so that does make this a little bit trickier. Of keys and extent with height specified. Okay. So, hang on. I feel like I need to zoom in on this. Just so I can be more sure of what I'm seeing. What? It looks to me like they've got the same thing. Well, not the same thing. Because this one's opening and this one's closing. So I guess that then my question would be, what does caret open paren mean? You know? Because caret open paren, then brackets caret paren, then is that like the seeing percent? Is that a string format specifier? That's right, guys. Gotcha. So you see, it was the right move all along, and I shouldn't have tried to avoid it as much. That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. But how does this... So how do they know... Whoops. How do they know whether the closing bracket they find is the correct closing bracket? Is that just part of their format, that it would always be the correct one before starting another one? Here, let me just like see if Godot has that. It does, that's good. All I can say is, oh boy. So... basically, what I need is I suppose, first we should, make certain that each, I suppose, I don't know. I just don't. Because I'd like... And oh boy, am I not able to put brackets into my regular expression? Because that's a problem. Because I use brackets. So... that could be tricky. But... oh, you know what I could do? Check this out. I could search through the possible ones, right? So this will, I'll put in some pseudocode, I think. I'll say pass so it stops yelling at me. For result in index search, if group count is even, it's a valid group, right? Because what that means is it'll never have like opening one caught halfway and then its matching closing one is taken as the group's one, because that'd be an odd number. So it guarantees that we always exit properly, I think. So first we need to define the expression, I think. We might need a couple. Just so that we get the different ones we want. So I'm gonna, so it's close regular expression new. I should have known that it would end up this way the whole time. Oops. Wow. New. Alright. Then... must be escaped first. Okay. So I guess to make that a variable. I'll compile this pattern, which would be I suppose I need to brush up on my, I think I even have the notes from my computer science class with me right now on my desk. Let's see. That is actually electrical engineering, which I do not know anything about. I didn't take anything on it. I just looked through some YouTube videos, basically. It is not this book, darn. I have a couple different notebooks that look the same. One of them has those notes in it, but not this one. That's alright though. We will just... Oh, I need to keep track of this pen, because it's my good pen for school. Let me see. I will just need to look up regular expression. I guess cheat sheet. I guess I should have expected. Here. This should work. If I say, oops. Okie dokie, and I can do Python, doesn't matter. Okie dokie. Oh, gotcha. So, here. It's only matching the last part, though. I expect it to... Here, let's see. I need it to recognize the fact that there is an inside and outside, you know? I do it like this. Alright. So it's only got the one match. Matches the previous token between... Ah, gotcha. So if I put an A here, or an A, B, C, D. Gotcha. So it has to be... You have to specify what can go there. So if I instead go a star between each one, I'm slowly remembering how this goes. Right? Then if I go BCD or ACD, it still matches. Okay. Now let's take something from my thing here, one of the more complicated ones. Oops, here. Yes, okay. So it would be, I guess, A through Z star. I'm assuming that A through Z. Yeah, capital A and lowercase z. Case sensitive. Okay. Or maybe that needs to be on the outside of that. See, I'm noticing now. Oh, but maybe that's because, well, see, this is what I was talking about, how it's taking that inner one, but not the outer one. I wonder why it isn't taking this one. And then I guess we'd have another A to Z R, or I mean R. See, there we go. Now that's doing what we want. And we can also have that as many times as we want. 1 second, I'm gonna sneeze. That was really delayed, but it happened, as I said. Okay. Then, so basically any of these pieces can happen any amount of times. They should all start with, do they all start with letter? No, they don't. Because of course not. But we're making good progress. Alright, we'll work on making this one work. We'll work on making that one work. And then... wait, where's this one going? Alright, that one's part of this one, huh? Maybe I need to not have that. Oh. See, now that's more like it. So these brackets were not helping. Oh, how interesting. So right now, it does match. Wait, what's the dot do? Hang on. Matches any character, huh? Then I'm gonna need that to have backslash. Well, no, it's not any amount of dots, isn't it? It'd just be one dot. Followed by another dot. Followed by, I mean, the whole thing again, basically. Well, okay, hang on. So, what we need is something that can happen basically any amount of times, right? Because we don't really have a specified start or end. Then we'd have A to Z. I'm wondering why match a single character present in the set, huh? And why do these brackets count? Hang on. No, the brackets shouldn't count. So we'll have the amount of dots in there. Right? Then... Oh gosh. This is so hard. I guess we... I just want to figure this out before I go to bed. So, we know it can have a character A to Z. Right, so we know there will be characters A to Z, as many in a row as we... No idea why these brackets count. Because I feel like they should not. You know? Not without the delimiter. But for whatever reason, it does work for separating things by the nesting, not nesting, the separating things that are overlapped. So I will take it. All right. Well, actually, hang on. That's a good start, but oops. All right, so there's this. Then, I don't know. I think the dot matches anything, right? The whole thing, huh? I guess technically. That makes sense. Okay, so this will get us outer, some of these out ones. Well, it gets us what's inside, though. What if I... That's weird. Oh, never mind. Alright, so how do I prevent it from matching with this one in the regular expression? Maybe I go like this? No. Maybe I can group like this to make it more clear. First capturing group. So, and then like so. Not quite. I mean, kind of, but not quite. Okay, progress. Guess we'd make this another group. Okay, perfect. I could put a star here. For that. Alright. H counts, but not just A for some reason. And at the moment, I don't know why this counts. Maybe... no. Oops. I wonder if just putting one more on there will fix it. Still, we don't get just A for some reason. Kinda weird. Matches characters. Maybe like this. We get basically the whole thing. Good. Then all of this. And then 1, 2, 3, 6. So the annoying thing is that the ones with 6 here technically would pass my little even number test, but only because they're doing it wrong twice. You know? Or I guess you'd have to have an odd number of openings too. Well, 1, 2, 3. That wouldn't work. An even number of pairs, maybe? Because... no, an odd number of pairs, maybe? Because we have 1, we have 2, and we have 3. Let's maybe simplify this a little. No, I think that was correct. What I need is for, like, all of the parts after it to be optional, you know? I need every individual letter to be valid. So I want A to Z. But why are brackets count? What brackets count? They shouldn't. Maybe I'm... I might be going insane just a little. 65 and 122. Oh, they put these in between, huh? Okay. I don't know why they did that, but A to Z, and then can I do A to Z again? Darn it. Yes, okay, good. It does work how I thought it did. Perfect. Then any of these inside it. And put another grouping around that. Okay. Put E, H, D, O. Alright. So each individual letter on its own does count. Then E of A also counts. A on its own counts twice. It's kind of odd. But, okay. Then H, D, you have as, I mean, you really should only have one dot actually, but it's to allow 0, right? And you can also have dot be after. Right? I'm noticing well, what I'm wondering is there a way to just like reference the whole expression again? Because it's a little bit recursive. But it's a good start for here. What's this do? Search global position at star line. Oh. I suppose. Oops, hang on. Did not mean to do that. I got into habit. I just gotta go to bed, unfortunately. I'm gonna have to workshop this more on my own, but for tonight, it is just far too late, and I've gotta leave. Gotta work tomorrow. We'll have to see. I don't know any of these people, goodness. Oh, I've rated them before. That's good enough for me. I'll see you guys next time. Goodness, it is just hard. I'll see you guys next time, yeah. Bye.